the Talk Birdie-tome with former world number 16 Nick O'Hearn and Tour Pro Mark Allen, live from Titleist and FootJoy headquarters. And thanks to our great partners, Titleist, they're the clear number one ball in golf. FootJoy are the number one shoe and glove in golf. Driving a BMW is like hitting a perfect shot. Smooth, controlled and powerful. Ping, they'll help you play your best. The Golf Clearance Outlet beat everyone's prices. And Better, the fastest and easiest betting app in Australia. Now, from Titleist and FootJoy headquarters, it's time for Talk Birdie-tome.
G'day everybody, welcome to the program. This is a feedback podcast, Dan. This means you're in business.
Okay, all right. Now, where we start? We might start, this is a fun one. I think you'll like this.
Right.
This is from Jeff. Hey, Nick and Mark, big fan of the show. I had to laugh watching the Abu Dhabi Classic at the weekend, and I wanted to share this with you. Wayne Riley makes a very funny comment about your favourite guy, Aaron Rai, along the lines of he's wearing two gloves, he's got iron covers, all he needs now is a scorecard holder and he'll be set. Also, his dad had a jacket on in the desert. Does he think he's Fonzie? Classic Radar. Thanks, guys.
I've got to say, Radar, some people love what he does and some people don't like what he does. I'm loving Radar.
I think he's fantastic.
I am loving him.
Yeah, he's so good. He's been doing it for a long time.
I can see why. I can see why people get annoyed because it's not the status quo of golf commentators.
Sure.
He's not normal. And I can see how that would, twist.
He's never been normal.
He's never been normal, dude.
In a good way.
Ever.
In a good way.
No, ever. I think he's great. I think he's doing a great job.
Really good.
He's so relaxed and he just knows when to speak and how to speak to people. I think he's great.
I didn't see Rye's dad, though. But he have a leather jacket on.
I didn't see it.
Apparently.
It was the
I didn't see it
Fonz,
either, apparently.
I didn't see it either. No, I didn't see any of that.
Got a question, or a comment and a question here from Peter, so you guys will have a view on this. Peter said, hey guys, it annoys me the number of Champions Tour players who use golf carts in a professional tournament. At that level, I reckon if you can't walk, you shouldn't be playing. Surely they're not that desperate.
Well, I don't know. If I played the seniors, I'd have to have a cart to get through 3 rounds or 4 rounds.
Yeah, it's funny how you lose your golf fitness.
Oh, you do.
At a certain point.
Well, it's not even that. It would just be waking up. So waking up on round 3, especially if you're practicing, like if you're having a practice round and then you're playing in the Pro-Am.
And they have 2 Pro-Ams, I think, in the Champions Tour.
Go. So you've got 2 Pro-Ams. So let's say there's no practice round. So you're playing in 2 Pro-Ams. Then round was only 3 rounds.
So
3 rounds.
5,
Pro-Am. Round 1, you've done your practice, you've done your putting, you've done your chipping. You'd be sore on the tee. Round 2, if you putted bad in the round 1, you've done an hour afterwards trying to hole a few 6-footers. At 50 years old, round 3, it's just Voltaren for breakfast.
I think most of the top players, they were walking, right? I'm assuming.
That's quite often.
Really?
No.
No? Okay.
No.
I don't watch much Champions golf, so I don't know.
It's funny. I'm watching a bit of Champions
where
golf.
Where do you see it?
Why. I don't know. I do know because I can work from home with everything that I do at the moment. So I've usually just got the Golf Channel on, trying to catch up on everything on a Monday and a Tuesday.
Good on you.
That's where I see it.
Right.
But yeah, a lot of players, they stand next to their caddy. This is what he's talking about, no doubt. Because the caddy is not allowed to drive the car.
That's right.
The caddy has to carry the clubs.
So the clubs
against the grain.
The clubs can't go in the car.
No,
really? No,
it's unbelievable.
The caddy's got to be absolutely
it's so bad. So the caddy has to carry the clubs. Why that's important when the player is in a golf cart, I've got no idea. It makes no sense. But the illusion, see, this is probably what it's about, is that the caddy stands next to the player with the golf bag, and it looks like they're both being walked.
Okay, all right.
So I imagine that's it because you can almost guarantee if the clubs went on the back of the golf cart, then the caddy would just bring out the 6 and the 7, and he'd stand there with just that.
Which one, boss?
Yeah, which one, boss? That's exactly right. So to keep the illusion going, I think that's what happens.
Speaking of caddies, Clinton says, what is the going rate for a caddy these days in Australia, assuming they're carrying the bag for 18 holes? Now, this is in the context of what you were talking about, Mark, about maybe 3 weeks ago, saying you would love the caddy culture from America to be more ingrained over here or down here.
Or is he actually asking how much it is on the professional circuit? Well, we can do both.
Well, actually, that's
the pro circuit.
Actually, maybe you're right. Maybe you're right.
The pro circuit, I couldn't tell you anymore.
I can tell you what I paid. So I wasn't Nick O'Hearn, but I was paying all my caddies. They got, I think it was something like it was either 800 or 1,000 for the week. Plus, I paid their airfares. So it was $1,000.
Oh,
that was $1,000 guaranteed. That's back in the 90s.
90s, yeah.
90s, and so it was $1,000 guaranteed, plus their airfares, plus a percentage. So it was 5%. Most of mine, they only got 5%.
Right. Okay.
Most of mine, they got 5% of what I earned. So if I earned $5,000, they got an extra $250.
Yeah, there you go.
So they got $1,250.
Yep.
Most weeks, and their airfares paid for.
Yeah. Okay.
So that was back in the 90s.
I'm trying to think.
I'd be horrified if they're not being paid $1,000 a week now.
Oh no, it'd be more. I mean, I'm again. I think with Wilbur it was probably $1,500 a week. I'm thinking, and that was US.
Yep.
And we had a deal of 8%.
Yep.
Not the 5, 7.5, 10. We just went straight 8%,
That's a good idea.
And then 10 for a win. So
great idea.
So basically, it was 8% all the time because I never won.
Yeah.
So
still 10 for the win.
For the win, yeah,
of
course.
So Nick, 8% of winnings, but 10% if you won.
If you won a tournament, correct? Yeah, and then they get. It was $1,500 at the time. It might have gone up to 2 or whatever it was, and that covers all their expenses for the week.
Yep.
So that gives you an idea for the week, and then the player, then they've still got their hotel, food, airfares, all that. It's an expensive sport to play.
Absolutely, it is. And the 10 was
especially
always
if you start missing some cuts in a row.
My 10 was always going to be just a straight 10, not the 1,000 plus 10.
Right.
It was just airfares and 10.
Right.
So back then it was 180 for winning,
Mm-hmm.
and the caddy would have got a straight $18,000.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
It's not huge, is it? Like considering they're away and traveling and away from family, it's not. They're not making bank.
No,
unless you're playing for a player who's playing a lot of money.
The pay dirt for these guys is when you get a good player,
the good bag.
So they might struggle for the first 5 years, get someone half decent for the next 5 years, and then the dream is that a good player coming through goes, I don't mind the way you do your business, and he's new on the circuit. He's might have just had a mate caddying early, and it's time to make a change to a professional caddy, and that's when you pinch someone else's caddy. And it's a nice
You know what
feeling.
the term for that is?
What is that?
Chiselling.
Chiselling. You've chiseled someone.
You chisel a bag.
Yeah. So I chiseled
well,
Trevor.
the caddy actually chisels as well.
Yeah. So
It goes both ways.
I only chiseled once.
Oh, did you?
Yeah, I chiseled, and his name
Who
was.
did you get?
I got Con.
Okay.
And Con was the first caddy that I stole, and I stole it off Trevor McDonald.
Oh.
Trevor was a pretty good player.
Okay.
He was a pretty good player.
Mm.
And I was paired with him somewhere, and I was watching Con. I think, Jesus, Con, how good a caddy are you?
Okay.
You know, I might have had my brother caddying, and I was sick of my brother all punching on every second week. So I was watching Con, and just the way he handled everything. And, you know, I was like you. I didn't have the yardage book in my back pocket.
Mm.
I thought that when I used to play with players and I'd watch the caddy do yardages and the player do yardages and they'd both confer.
Yeah.
I thought, no.
Mm.
I don't want that. So I always had my caddy always did yardages for me. And he'd wear.
So he was making up numbers like Stevie Williams used to make up numbers for Tiger because Tiger never carried a yardage book either.
So I always felt like I'd wear the mystery. So folks, if you don't know what a mystery is when it's 150 yards and the caddy makes a mistake and he's giving you 170 yards.
All of a sudden you see your ball sailing over the back.
Sailing into the grandstand over the back of the green.
What happened there? I just hit the perfect shot.
In professional terms, that's called a mystery. Yeah. But I always felt like I'd wear the mystery, but the doing mathematics before you hit a golf shot, no one needs that stuff.
No.
And, you know, I watch all our boys. Yeah, and I know they're only small tournaments and they can't all afford to, but I watch them all doing their own mathematics and I think, gee whiz, you could save so many shots if you stop doing mathematics. Yeah. If mathematics wasn't part of your pre-shot routine, you would develop into a much better player.
Yeah, yeah. The caddies used to have awards at the end of the year as well. A little their own awards.
What?
One of them was the mystery of the year. And who won that? The biggest mystery.
Because it did get around, didn't it? I mean, if a caddy gave especially a good player, if a caddy gave a good player a red hot mystery, to where he might have shorted him and it went into the water in the front of the green or something like that. Oh,
Wilbur's biggest mystery with me was not actually the yardage; it was the club. We're playing the Italian Open. I may have told you before, but
no, I haven't heard it.
We're playing. It was the final event before the Valderrama tournament, the Volvo Masters, and I think the final day, I needed to shoot something lights out. I mean, like 62 or 61 to get into the top 5 in the tournament, which would have then gotten me into the top 60. So I played the last event of the year, the Tour Championship, basically. Right. Anyway, I think I birdied the first hole. Second hole's a par 3 down the hill, and I just put some new fairway woods in with Ping. And he's given me the yardage. It's a long hole, and I've just smoked this thing. Absolutely smoked it. And it's come out really low, and I thought, oh, gee, that's come out lower than I thought I'd using a 5 wood. Anyway, go straight over the back of the green, make bogey. Didn't think much of it. Played great that day. I think I shot 63, something like that. I needed a 61. Anyway, little did I know, but Wilbur had the wrong head cover on the 5 wood to the 3 wood. And I pulled it out going, yep, okay, no worries. And I didn't even notice the 5 because they're new woods. They kind of look similar.
That's right. And you've just taken the X out, right? You've taken the X cover off and you know that's your 5 wood.
But afterwards, he's gone to Alana. He's gone, I don't know if I should tell Nick this, but basically I gave him, he took the wood cover off the 5 and it was actually the 3. It wasn't the 5.
God.
Anyway, about a week later, she told me all this. Like she actually told me.
What was your reaction?
And I've gone, oh, well, we missed by 2 or 3, not by 1. That's fine. It happens. Yeah. And I said to Wilbur, because I had to get in contact with him and say, because he was coming down to Australia, we're going to play the Masters, the Open, the PGA. And anyway, we're chatting away, and I said, and by the way, the last thing I said was, make sure you put the right wood covers on the right clubs this time. And he went, oh, I'm sorry. And all. I said, don't worry. I said, what happened? He said, well, I got to admit, I did go out the night before and maybe had 1 or 2 reds.
You're kidding me. The only thing, poor guy. I never got a mystery, not a memorable one like that, but I got a really bad read once. All right? Okay. And it was at the most important part, probably the second most. The most important part was beating Montgomery. But this was a putt in the 93 Australian Masters, and I was 5th by myself, and I had a 4-footer to beat the world number 1, Greg Norman, and Nick Price was next. So he was the world number 2. So I had this 4-footer. Now, as you play the 18th at Huntingdale, I just chipped out of the old dip, to 4 feet. Anyway, Bradley Hughes, of course, had hit that 3-iron to 2.5 feet. And he tapped that. Yeah. So that happened. He was next to go. Anyway, so I'm down, and it's a left to right putt, right? Mm-hmm. I'm on that side. It's a left to righter.
Yep.
It's left center all day, every day, no matter what.
Did you ask your caddy?
I used to always, because he was a Huntingdale member, right? Okay. He was a Huntingdale member and a hell of a good putter. His name was John Reedy. Anyway, I said to Reedy, what we used to call him? God, what was his name?
He was a good reader.
No. Anyway, I said, what do you reckon? And I'm just waiting for the left centre. He's gone, right edge. I've looked up at him. I'm down crouching in front of him. I've looked at him and said, what? Like, that's the most important part of my life. Anyway, I said, go away. Disregard. I just got back left centre, and of course it went straight in the hole.
Oh, it went in. Okay,
of course it did. It went straight in the hole to beat him. But my God, that was
that's
unbelievable.
A mystery read.
It was almost like he wanted me to fail. Anyway.
Gosh.
I'll never forget that.
Anyway, you got to love the caddies. So, sorry. We got off track there a bit, but it's all good.
Goodness me.
Yeah, now, speaking of the caddy program or the caddies that we're talking about, getting caddies locally, like in the US, Aaron has said, myself and my wife run a caddy program across the sandbelt, and we have an amazing team of caddies that are doing exactly what you're talking about, Mark.
Nice.
Brilliant. Mainly for international guests, but also for some local members too.
Oh. Yeah, I see them all the time. Touch?
Yeah, I see them all the time. How do we get in touch?
Did she leave her details or not?
No, well, I'll tell you what. We'll find out from Aaron. Aaron, reach out to us and let us know how to get in touch, and we'll share it on our socials.
Yeah. Well, look, if you don't know, for international visitors to come down and play some of the best courses on the sandbelt, the price is enormous. I mean, it's $1,000, which is, what is it, 600? It's 1,000 Aussie pesos, so it's 600 US to play top 50 golf courses in the world.
Why would you pay a caddy as well for those?
And the caddy's part of it. Yeah, so I think
it's part of it. Okay.
I think it's like 800 to play,
a couple of hundred for the caddy,
and
something like
if you pay the 1,000, you get the caddy in there as well.
Gotcha.
So that's part of the deal. So if you happen to get on some of the best courses in the sandbelt when you're down here having a look, sometimes you'll see the caddies out there with the light blue bibs on.
Nice.
Okay, we'll go to the turn now, and we're going to come back with one question, but it's a big one.
Okay.
It's a very big one, and it's about yips.
Oh.
Yes, we'll do that next.
From Titleist and FootJoy headquarters, this is Talk Birdie-tome. We're here for BMW, luxury and comfort for the 19th hole. Ping will help you play your best. The Golf Clearance Outlet beat everyone's prices. And Betr is the fastest and easiest betting app in Australia. Now, for Titleist, the #1 ball in golf, and FootJoy, the #1 shoe and glove in golf. Here's Nick O'Hearn and Mark Allen.
Rightio, Dan. I don't want to say it out loud, so this one's about.
I'll just say it.
The heebie-jeebies, I was going to say. Someone's got the heebies. What's the story?
I think I said last week we have been accused of using bad language on the podcast by using the Y word, and we don't want to put our podcast license at risk, which I think that word may well.
It's in there.
It's borderline.
Yeah, it's in there.
It's borderline.
Be careful.
Be loud and proud.
So, message here. This comes from Vec. Vec has said, Nick and Mark, help. I need some advice for chipping yips.
Ooh. Well,
is that it?
Yeah, that's
Yeah,
it.
that
That's
is
a
it.
very simple question.
That is it.
Very simple question.
I remember Brett Ogle.
Yeah.
He had the severe yipping chips.
Yeah.
Really, really bad. And
Chipping yips.
Yeah, chipping yips. That's completely shockers. He had the long putter in the end too. He had the putting yips.
Well, he came to me about chipping left-handed.
Yeah, well, he did. He had a left-handed. He had a left-handed ping.
Yep.
Sand iron in his bag, and you know what he did? He practiced and practiced and practiced and practiced and practiced until he got reasonably good at it.
Yep.
I actually said to him, I said, if you practiced that much right-handed, you probably wouldn't have got the yips. But here's a player, Brett, who didn't have to chip much because he was such a flusher. Yeah. I mean, this guy, he was up there with Hugo.
Yep.
Hugo, Ogle, Norman, David. I used to think David Graham was just a complete flusher the way he hit the golf ball. But, this is the realm that Brett Ogle was in. And for a lot of these guys growing up, they hit the ball so well that chipping just wasn't an issue. They didn't have to do it too often. Unfortunately, if things started to deteriorate as they got a little bit older, all of a sudden they had to rely on their short game and they didn't have a big practice bank. And
guess what?
Jeebies come so start to drift into the picture. So he actually had a left-handed club. Yeah. I think a lot of people didn't know this, but Peter Senior, he chipped cack-handed.
Yes.
For most of his career. He was the first player I ever saw go cack-handed. I know Stuart Sink is now doing it.
Matt Fitzpatrick is a big one.
Fitzpatrick is doing it. So I think if you're a right-handed golfer, Vec, I think your starting point is with a 54-degree or a 50-degree wedge and go and cack-handed. And that's your starting point.
Yep.
That would be my advice.
Yeah, typically any type of yip starts from a technical, typically a technical error, and then it moves into the mental.
That's
because basically yips becomes mental, really.
That's right.
Because you got the heebie-jeebies.
That is correct. It all starts from poor technique.
Yes. So look at that first. Setup, especially in chipping, is so important where, feet together. Your weight doesn't have to lean one way or the other. 50-50 is fine, vertical shaft, all that sort of stuff. But the rotation's important. The big buckling of the knees, I find, is a big thing. But look, at the end of the day, I'd have to sort of see the technique to have a look at that first. But a couple of great things to try and practice is someone I help on the Asian Tour, Austin Trozler, I mentioned him before. He has the chipping yips two-handed. Yeah. So he chips one-handed.
I played with somebody.
One hand, right hand. So it's a great drill for someone who has the yips, because what happens is people almost become, this is a bit ridiculous, no expectations, and then all of a sudden they start chipping pretty good one-handed. That is an option.
Well,
that is an option.
I played with a guy called Craig Kelly last Friday at Kingston. Now, Craig Kelly.
Ned.
Ned, you know Ned.
I know Ned well. He's
That's
a member in Cathedral. He chips one-handed.
So Ned is, if you don't know, a 1990 premiership player for Collingwood. Mm-hmm. He's also the CEO of the Collingwood Football Club. He had a huge management company, and he was my manager. He was the last management man I had was Craig Kelly.
Right, okay.
So I played with him on Friday. Anyway, he's hit one way right on the 5th hole. Yep. And I'm looking over there, and he's got a tough chip. And he's just fiddling around having practice swings one-handed. I thought, oh, that's nice, Ned, doing that. It's a nice way to get the feel.
And he chips
then
one-handed.
Then he stepped up to it and chipped one-handed.
Does it pretty well too.
So it started out as a drill.
Yep.
Vec, if you're listening, it started out as a drill. So it's chipping one-handed. I wouldn't mind as a drill too is if you put your left hand and put it on your elbow and do some chips if you don't have the absolute strength, like he's an ex-footballer, so he's a very strong person.
Yeah.
If you don't have the strength, then chipping with your right hand, but having the left hand on the bottom of your bicep, doing some chips like that. And I saw your commentary last week at the seniors, and you spoke about Peter Lonard, who did a little chip from just off the green, and you said it was just a turn and a turn.
Exactly.
And nothing could go wrong. So there you go. I was watching you.
There you go.
I was listening to your commentary, and you're exactly right. Peter Lonard just stood up there, did a mini turn and a mini turn through, same length backswing, same length follow through with just a mini turn and a mini turn, and that worked a treat. So
that does work well.
If you're doing that as a drill Vec with the hand on the bottom of the bicep, turn one-handed. I think that's not a bad place to experiment with it as well.
The last thing I would say is typically it's a rhythm thing.
Yes.
Like most people, they get to the top of the backswing and then they speed up and the heebie-jeebies come in. Use a metronome. Okay, that's a great way to get the rhythm going, the tick, 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 tick. So that way you get into that rhythm and then you can start counting in your head 1, 2, 1, 2, whatever. And that will help as well. The other option is I like the left-hand low. That's good.
Left-hand low is great.
And then if all else fails, try left-handed. If you're right.
That's your last step. But left-hand is your last step. Or just start putting. Putt from everywhere. That's the other one.
Yeah.
Putt from everywhere, which I imagine Vec probably does already. Yeah. Last one, though, Vec. Put the camera on me. Vec, I'm looking at you, Vec, right now. Go to the golf clearance outlet and go and talk to the boys about the highest possible bounce on a sand iron that you can get. That should help you as well.
I thought you were going to say chipper there for a second.
No, don't get the chip, just putt. There's no need for a chipper, just putt. That's all you need to do, or what we've been talking about there.
That'll do it, boys.
Very good questions. I love the questions from our listeners and our viewers.
Well, the only other thing I would say to Vec is send us a video. Let's have a look at it too. I'd love to have a look because I love helping people with the yips.
No, that's a great idea. Vec, don't send us a picture of you either hitting a good chip. Send a picture of the yipper so we can see it.
Side on and from behind if you can.
And maybe some video of what you're doing now with the one-handed chipping perhaps.
Indeed.
Or the backhanded chipping. God, this is a big answer. We're happy to help, Vec. Good on you, folks. We'll catch you next time.
Talk Birdie to Me with Nick O'Hearn and Mark Allen comes live from Titleist and FootJoy headquarters. And thanks to our fantastic partners. Titleist is the clear #1 ball in golf. FootJoy, the #1 shoe and glove in golf. BMW, luxury and comfort for the 19th hole. Ping, they'll help you play your best. Better, the fastest and easiest betting app in Australia. And the Golf Clearance Outlet, who beat everyone's prices. Wherever you listen or watch, we'd love you to subscribe and maybe leave a review. Talk Birdie to Me's executive producer is Dan Bradley at Kaizen Media, with sound design by Daryl Misson at loudzebra.com. And now from Titleist and FootJoy headquarters, that's been Talk Birdie to Me.